Hi, everyone. Welcome to Taskfeed Office Hours, a virtual coffee and learning session where you can ask questions, get inspired, and hear the latest updates from Taskfeed, customer onboarding, and beyond. I'm Jessica Graham Morris, Customer Success Manager at Taskfeed, and every week I cover questions and topics that our beloved customers submit to us ahead of time and throughout our interactions with them. We have a very special session for you today. Andy, the founder and CEO of Taskfeed, is joining us live from Dreamforce in San Francisco. Andy will be giving us the inside scoop from the conference and telling us a little bit about the roundtable session that he's speaking later today and sharing his knowledge on customer onboarding best practices. So if you want to know more information about Andy's session later on, you can find that at our community. If you haven't already registered, you can go to taskfeedapp.com/community to find more information about Taskfeed and the session where Andy will be speaking later today. Before we begin, I have a few news and announcements for you. So we have planned two of our upcoming office hours sessions for the next couple of weeks. One on October 3rd, which is next week, will be on key metrics and reports every CSM should have. So those next two sessions will be dedicated and focused on reports and dashboards that make customer onboarding and customer success deliver those metrics and KPIs that we all need. So on October 10th, we have building the customer onboarding dashboard. So we will focus on building the ultimate customer onboarding dashboard with the reports and metrics that we all look for throughout the onboarding journey. So I believe Andy has just joined us. Andy is in San Francisco at Dreamforce, and he will be giving us the latest scoop and what is going on there. He'll be also telling us about the session that he's leading on later today on customer onboarding best practices. So Andy, are you with us?
Hey, yes, Jess, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay, cool. So I'm just in outside the Moscone Center, just where Dreamforce is being held. And it's like a little park.
So how's Dreamforce so far?
It's really great fun. So the keynote was yesterday, hosted by Mark Benioff, and it was like a big event, like it always is. They showed and demoed all the new features that are coming out and things that are coming over the next year. Things like iPhone apps and voice dictation for Einstein and some really, really cool features like that are sort of coming out over the next year, which is really quite cool. And it was a really big event. And yesterday I was spending a lot of time in keynotes and sessions and just meeting people that are here and bumping into people and seeing familiar faces, which is always great fun.
And what about the session that you're leading later on? Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so at 3 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be facilitating a session specifically for product companies or ISV companies around best practices around customer onboarding and customer advocacy as well. So we're hoping to have a group of people attend who can share their top challenges, things that they want to learn. And then through some of the experience that I can bring to the table, but also the experience of the other people who are participating, we hope to kind of find what are those key things, those key challenges, what other people have been doing, what's worked, what's failed, and just try and find some real takeaways for that group, for that group that are going to be attending. So I'm really looking forward to that session. I'm a bit nervous about it. It's one of those things where it's not like I'm just going to be running through a slide deck. It's all going to be like we're going to be creating content on the fly, which is always a challenge. But I think usually the best things come like that. We'll be hearing from people, real world examples. What works, what doesn't. Because it's kind of I think it's between sort of 10 and 30 people that will be attending. It's kind of a small enough group where people can be really honest, which is which is great. And we can share some real world stories.
That sounds really fun. And I have also prepared the content for this session around continuing that conversation on customer success best practices. So planning on wearing my CSM hat and share with everybody here how I use Taskfeed for work and how it's transforming the experience that I deliver to our customers and how they go through their own onboarding journey with us. So I just wanted to show some of the tools that we use to help us stay on top of our work and how you can create healthy customer success habits that will make your life easier and also delight your customers along the way. So this is what I would like to show for today. And if you have any input to add on your own experience, that would be great too. So what I wanted to share next is some of the ways that we onboard our customers and how we use Taskfeed when I share the plan with them to give our customers a better journey, but also accountability over their success while they're implementing Taskfeed. This is something that we have evolved along the way, but I find that it makes a massive difference in the end result, which I think is the goal of every CSM, is to have their customers achieve their desired outcomes. And when you're looking forward and working backwards, to share a part of your plan with your customer it really makes a difference. So you're both on the same page, and also every step that is necessary to deliver your customer success, it puts that in the forefront of their mind rather than something that is vague and that was just discussed during the sales process. Having said that, as a customer success manager, I heavily rely on Taskfeed for my own work. And the org that I'm showing right now is a demo org, but we have the templates that we use in our own. And over the last year, our onboarding and trial process at Taskfeed has evolved as we evolved ourselves and we grew. And as we learn more about our customers and what their journey to success looks like. So I revisit those templates every now and then. So about every 3 to 6 months. So about every quarter, to be more precise, if you put like onboarding and the trial templates together, just to make sure that they still reflect our needs and our offerings and how we actually work. Because we know that every customer is different. Even if we use a template, there's always tasks here and there that we create on top of that. So over time, these things will evolve and they will change. And if we notice that these things are happening more often than not, we definitely want to make that reflect on our templates as well. And I find that having a list on my board called scheduled makes my life a lot easier. So about 60% of my work is client meetings. So my onboarding and my trial board types, they already have those custom list templates that I have prepared with a scheduled on them. I notice it really makes a difference, especially for all of those meetings, like kickoff calls and all of my other interactions. So if I create a board over here, I'll show you what our managed onboarding looks like. So out of the box, this is when we start a managed onboarding, this is what we see. And I have tasks and I have subtasks as well on my board. So if I focus over here just on my milestones, that's how I divided my efforts. I like to divide it into kickoff, implementation, onboarding sessions, launch, and this is how I see the whole onboarding process with them. I also find that having Taskfeed categories really helps me to visualize the types of actions required, like client action required. And our customers, they use Taskfeed categories in many different ways. And I like to identify things like email, client action required, meetings. I like to put one like implementation. So when I share the plan with our customers, they can see exactly what is for them, and it stands out along with the rest of the plan. And this is the one that I see, but what I actually share with our customers is a different story. So if I make this visible, You will see. And the reason why I don't share everything with the customer is not because we have anything to hide, but because so they can focus on what's really important for them. They don't need to know what's going on in the background, like a follow-up email that I have to send. So what's put in front of them is extremely valuable. And I noticed that during the kickoff calls, that's when I share the plan with them. It makes such a big difference in terms of scheduling those tasks, those meetings ahead of time. I find them more successful when I'm sharing and I'm going through each step of the way so they can see it as well, so they know what's going on. So for instance, if I divide this into my onboarding sessions over here, I'm going to collapse this. And I say, let's focus on your onboarding sessions because you're going to have a series of onboarding sessions with us. So we have our first onboarding session, and then because for our managed onboarding, it's a little bit more hands-on and high touch, we also have an implementation playback session. That's where we have gathered their requirements and then we play the solution back to them. And then we focus on the training as well. We do a super user training session, an end user training prep, and a launch planning session. And the reason why we like to have an end user training prep call is just so we can discuss with the stakeholders and the super users exactly what is helpful to the end users. What is it that we should focus on? What does success look like to them? How can we choreograph the training so it's exactly the way that they envision that it will work out for their own journey, for their own process? So this is something that we like to do. And this external link that I share with them, I also like, and this is a nice little trick that others can do as well, is to use Bitly. So I put the link that we're going to share with our customers on Bitly, and I have a free account with them. And what that does is it creates a unique link. You copy, I send them this shortened version, but I also see if people are interacting with the plan. So when I do that, it gives us a little bit of metrics around that. It's not super extensive, but it just says, are people clicking? Are people interacting with the plan or not? So should I be engaging more or less, or how is that working out for them? And what is the information that I should be adding to the plan? So something that we also like to do, and I started doing recently, is to add some links for the customer. So anything that I find useful, let me go back here. I can put maybe our Zoom link on our notes session, or I can put something, the pre-implementation questionnaire, that's a big one. I like to do that one in between the time I booked the kickoff call, and then also before the kickoff call, I like to have them completed. So when they see the plan, they can click on it, they can access, they can complete, and I just get that form on email. I get alerted when that's done. So an example of that would be to add a help link or another resource that you have online. So let me show you what that would look like from the customer's point of view. I find the whole accountability process super important for onboarding because you don't want to lose the momentum with your customer. They were super excited and engaged during the sales process, and they're keen to get the product implemented. And part of it is configuration. Part of it is learning about the product. It's training, it's adoption. You want to make sure that all of your business users as well as the super users are on the same page. And one way to keep the wheel turning and not lose the momentum with your customer is to, give them little homeworks, give them things to do so they are still thinking about Taskfeed and thinking about their end goal. What are the important questions that we should be asking and the things that we need to discover to, either identify the red flags or find what are their expectations? What is it that they're comparing to in terms of their dream? It's a lot like going on a diet. When you first start going on a diet, you're excited and you're keen, and in order for you not to fall off the wagon, one of the things that people say is write down the things that you're eating. Make sure you're weighing yourself every day. So if you're not checking your plan every day, if you're not keeping track of your activities, you're going to forget about it and you're going to lose the momentum. And if you're not thinking about this, your objectives and your goals, your chances of being successful later on are going to decrease. So I find that our customers, our successful customers are more successful because they had such a good onboarding journey. It makes a huge difference when things go smoother, both for yourself and also for our customers, because you're both on the same page and you have a chance to identify your challenges, but also your ideas for success, what success looks like to you. Do you have anything to add, Andy, to that?
No, I don't. I love that that run through, Jess. I think that was really helpful. Like you highlighted some really key takeaways, things like setting, like what you called like setting homework for the customer, giving them things to sort of take away and provide back to you to stay engaged through the whole process, sharing the plan with the customer so that they have more accountability and ownership, and even using the bit.ly link to get some of the analytics around that is a really cool idea.
Yeah, I really like it. It's free, it's helpful. It also shortens the URL. And I find that it also gives a little touch of, you can personalize, and I like to put the customer's account name next to our name, so they are thinking about it and seeing as a joint effort. So that's one of the things that I really like about doing that. And when they can visualize the tool, and in our case, our work onboarding our customers is very meta. So we also have a chance to showcase what Taskfeed can deliver for them as when they start using it to onboard their own customers. And it's like, this is what success is going to look like in the end, and this is what you can do. And these things are evolving. We didn't go through this process overnight, but once we started using the tool more and more, we found all of its capabilities and the things that, how we can make Taskfeed work for us. And this is how I see Taskfeed working for me. I like to have my scheduled list. I like to have the different colors because they stand out. And I find the categories very helpful. So if I put it in red, it's going to draw people's attention immediately. And one thing that I noticed with our customers, a big wow moment, is when they see the timeline, because they have a vision for the timeline. They see something, in their mind. When they see it in Taskfeed, when they see it happening, this is actually how long it's going to take. Does that match your expectations? When we can align those, that's when everything starts making sense. So I really like that. It's one of my favorite parts, is to share the plan with them and say, okay, so what was your goal to get this, to get Taskfeed implemented? When did you want to get it implemented by? Oh, maybe 3 weeks from now. Well, let's go see if that is realistic or not, because this is actually what's going to take to get you there. And these are the steps. And are you ready to commit? Because it takes both of us to do that. It's a team effort. So once they see this, then it's real. We can paint the picture for them. And I think as a customer success manager, being aligned with your customer in terms of what's possible, what they envision, and what you can give them is crucial to align those expectations, but also make sure that throughout your journey, you remember those things that they said. And with Taskfeed, I keep my notes. I put any updates. I use Chatter to collaborate with the rest of my team. I can mention everybody, and this way I can put all of the information about that work over here, so I don't have to, keep digging. Where did I last speak with this customer? What is it that they said? Oh, I don't remember. I can just put everything in Taskfeed to help remember so it's visual. And every Monday, we have our onboarding meetups where we discuss what's going on. And once we started doing everything 100% within Taskfeed, it saved me a lot of time, not only prepping for those meetings, but updating my team as well. So this is an incredibly valuable experience that I've gained over time in having everything in Taskfeed and managing everything. So I never have to leave Salesforce. We all know that if it's not on Salesforce, it doesn't exist. But also for me, if it's not in Taskfeed, it doesn't exist. If there isn't a board, it didn't happen. So those are some of my primary takeaways as a customer success manager, onboarding our customers as well. And also in terms of how I can start, I think as a next step is how we think of the customer's journey from a success point of view. So we're not just delivering a tool to them, we're not delivering a static product, but it's a living organism, and it's just a step, a piece of the puzzle where what the customer really bought is their dream. They have a vision in their mind, and they're not always, going to express that to you in, clearly, but you need to dig that out from the customer. And the sooner you do that, the easier it will be for everybody. Because that's ultimately what the customer is looking for, and how you deliver it is less, important than your ability of really understanding where they're coming from. It's sometimes it takes longer to get there, but if they see that you're aligned with their vision, they'll be patient. They will be in tune with you. And to me, that's one of the biggest takeaways and lessons that I've learned throughout my experience. So I'm very excited about Andy's session. I will definitely be catching it up online later, and looking forward to all of the takeaways and the conversations that Andy's going to have with the rest of the panelists. You can find more information in the Dreamforce page. I'm going to put the link on our community. And Andy will be discussing customer onboarding best practices at a partner roundtable along with 2 other panelists. So thank you everyone for joining us today. For those who have joined us, we have some very exciting upcoming sessions planned as well. So next, our next 2 office hours sessions will be focused on reports and dashboards. Next week, on October 3rd, we'll be talking about some key metrics and reports that every CSM should have. And on October 10th, the following week, we'll be building the ultimate customer onboarding dashboard. So we're going to be getting all of those reports that we built on the previous week and putting them together in the dream dashboard that every CSM should have. So if you want to stay up to date with the latest news and announcements, you can find more details in our Taskfeed Success community, which is at taskfeed.com/community in the Trailblazer, Salesforce Trailblazer community. And if you want to join us for Taskfeed office hours, it's every Wednesday at 5 p.m. UK time. If you're in the US, it's at 12 p.m. Eastern time and 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to register for office hours, you can find more information at help.taskfeedapp.com. So that is all the content that we have for today. We managed to cover quite a bit. Thank you everyone who has attended, and we'll be speaking with you soon.